Oh, you fancy
Yeah,
now.
we are live now.
No.
Yeah, let's go to the video, everybody.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. What's up, bro?
Hey, it's the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk movies, sports, TV shows, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfuckers. With nary signs. I'm like, what? How can this? They have Photoshop. Photoshop exists when this artist rendition was done. How the fuck is this not cooler looking than a sketch that looks like it was done by a hillbilly off the side of the road? What the fuck are we talking? Why is this a thing?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
With Missy.
Just let me finish my thought before you fucking interrupt me. Wrong room to ask questions.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And Mike Markadal.
I'm just glad I like vanilla boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
All right, and welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast, your favorite podcast where you come to watch people watch and listen to people talk, debate, and argue over shit that they really don't know anything about, but we fucking try anyway. And as I scramble here to get the new banner up, because this is the banner from last week, there it is. Boom! See that? Just a simple change, and now now we're good. I am Nary Science. With me today is Martika back.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Back again. Da-na-na,
Hello, friend.
Everybody's on assignment. Mike is actually running late, but everybody's on assignment.
He's running on
there he
Cuban
is.
time.
There he is.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
You
We're
are
just
going
talking shit
live?
about you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Remember when we said that we were gonna go live at 8 and it's 8:03? You remember?
You remember?
Yeah, but you guys are always that's what I get used to, how late you all are, and then now
Excuse you.
I mean, it was a scheduled post and it said 8:05 was the start time. I mean, it was a scheduled post. So, to your request, by the way, you're the one that's like, can you do it? Can you like schedule it? Can you like put it in the system to schedule it? And then
Did you do the intro already, the countdown and all?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
we did.
Do it
Yes.
again now that I'm here.
No.
I was literally just saying the words. Everybody's on assignment except for Mike. Mike's running a little late, and then boop, you popped up. That's literally what I just like. That's where you came in. So
I have to make everything about me.
Yeah.
Always.
Do we though?
Hey, Matika, good to see you. Hello.
Good to
welcome
see
back.
you. Thank you. Thank you guys
Hello,
for having
Neri.
me.
Hello,
Yeah, man.
watchers and viewers and listeners.
Watchers and viewers and listeners. Is that? Do you need time to like post the thing to share the post? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I can do it while you're talking.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I don't
We can
listen to you anyway.
multitask.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to when I talk. That's craziness.
I mean, that's pretty evident by you guys. I'm just saying.
True.
The shade.
Every single post. So you guys during the pandemic you guys were working, correct? Like you
Yeah.
guys were doing working. Now, Martika, I know about Mike, but Martika, did you go to physical work or were you working from home?
Oh no, I was in physical work. We had to wear a mask. We had to disinfect every single time that we entered the studio, every time we left the studio.
It's Florida, baby. Ain't nothing closed.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah. And
well-
honestly, I'm fortunate that that's the way it was.
Well, no, I mean some local radio stations down here in Miami were working from home. Like they were posting
Yeah.
on social media.
How-
They were working.
Were they,
I
like,
heard what's doing
phoning
that.
it in. They were like,
No, it's like pretty much what we do, except that they have a server that puts it out into the radio's waves.
hmm.
Yeah,
But
no.
they literally are working. I saw them post videos on the gram and stuff. And they
Yeah,
were
but you
like-
have to remember that you can't compare Miami to
but I'm
Tampa
not.
City.
The only reason I'm asking, the only reason I bring this up is to say that because you two went to a physical job on a daily basis, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you guys showered on a daily basis. You guys bathed on a daily basis.
Why change the routine? Why try to pretend like I'm something I'm not? What am I trying to big time you?
Well, because I
Ugh.
bring this up because recently, Ashton
Ashton
Kutcher
Kutcher and Mila, bro.
and Mila, his wife Mila, said that they do not bathe. Not only do they not bathe on a daily basis, their kids don't. They don't bathe their kids on a daily basis. And to a lot of people, that's like, oh, that's fucking disgusting. And in my mind, I was like, I haven't had a job in a year and a half, so I could kind of relate. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, unless I'm going to the gym, which has happened so sporadically in the last year and a half. It's happening
Right.
more often now than it
Yes.
ever did in 2020. But unless I go to the gym or I have a show, like if I have to perform, but if I'm just in my house all day watching DuckTales, there's no like in my mind, I was like, I'm fine the way I am. I'm like, it's not every day.
Man. You build up a sweat watching DuckTales.
Not the way I do it, baby.
Yeah, it depends on the show you're watching. If you're
watching, he works up a sweat another way. Okay.
Yeah. Masturbating.
Oh yeah.
Why did
he masturbates, like he wants you to think he masturbates to the ducks. He masturbates to that money bin. He's like, oh, I want to swim in that gold.
God,
I want to swim in that gold.
Why
are these coins sticking together?
Have you ever seen a clip of Family Guy where Peter goes into the money pit and he's like, every bone is broken. He's like, this is the worst idea. Why would they teach children to do this? It's fantastic.
To be fair, that is a thing that the showering thing. Like,
not the masturbating thing.
No, not the masturbating thing. That's we've just Matika, we've talked about this for the last 9 years. I know so much about Neri that it is uncomfortably close. But the idea of like the showering stuff, I kind of get it, but I also like I don't do that. Like, to a certain extent, like there was this whole thing going on a couple years ago on Twitter about, do you wash your legs in the shower or does the water running down? There's a lot of people that don't wash their legs in the shower. It's just like a thing that people.
What do you mean they don't wash their? You mean they don't soap their legs? They don't put soap?
They don't like lather up their legs.
That's weird.
That's disgusting.
Right? Well, here's the reality. Not like we don't necessarily. I always try to think about like how we're all still animals pretending to not be animals, right? Like if realistically, if we dropped you or anybody out into the woods and just let you live, you'd grow hair, you'd stink, you wouldn't have makeup, you would have sun damage, you'd be dirty. Like, even if you were to clean yourself, you know what I mean? Like, as an animal, we produce so much fluid on our body that we get rid of on a daily basis that biologically we're all just trying to play catch up all the time. And some of that stuff has gotten a little crazy, like removing hair and all, like the people who like, even when like if you shave your face.
I'm doing what is it? Laser hair removal.
Right. So you're fighting the millions of years
in
of
my head. Laser hair removal in my head,
which is very painful.
Facts.
Yeah. But the idea of like you're fighting this battle it's like you're selectively evolving parts of your body versus what nature brought you to, you know. It's because we don't need it anymore. We don't need to be protected from the sun as much because we got clothes and buildings and cars and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, but in terms of showering and stuff like that, medically speaking, your body is swimming with bacteria. You have more bacteria cells in your body than you do actual cells of your body. Did you know that? So
okay, so Martika, what was the reason that because I know when I heard the story, I was like, I just read the headline and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm fine. Like, but I'm thinking of myself in quarantine now, and I'm not saying I never shower or bathe. I'm just saying like it's a daily thing. I'm like, I just watched TV today and the air conditioning. It's fine. But my question is there a particular
it's
thing?
Not them, it's their kids.
But Ashton Kutcher, no, they said themselves too. They said they don't shower or bathe every day, and they do the same thing with their kids.
Well, according to the CDC, you don't need to. You can.
Yeah.
I mean, you can shower every other day and it be okay, or shower 2 to 3 times a week and it be okay.
The French people think that it's 2 or 3 months. So
everybody makes jokes about the French, and my French family, I will not stand for it. They have perfectly fine hygiene.
Hey, listen, all I know is I went to an island off the coast of Australia, and I forget the name of it because I was meeting a ship that goes to Australia. This is a few years ago, and I had no idea that the island was French I don't know how to say it, French based. Like it's like everything was
A French colony.
French colony. I don't know. I don't want to say French colony because it's like we're not colonized anymore. We got our freedom. I don't fucking know. But I know that everybody there. I didn't know this until I got there, because I knew I couldn't read the language. I couldn't read the billboards. I was like, I don't know what fucking languages that is. I can't read the billboards. I can't, whatever. But when I went, everybody stunk. Everybody fucking stunk. And now I'm used to going on cruises and I'm used to going to third world countries. So that to me wasn't shocking. It wasn't like,
right.
But when I went to a restaurant and it was like, again, it's a tiny island, but for that island, it was the quote unquote fancy restaurant. And I only went there because I got vouchers from the company. They're like,
right.
you go earn it. So, but it was a fancy restaurant. It had the rotating fucking thing where you see the city, whatever.
Wow.
Okay.
And
It is the fancy restaurant.
Yeah. And the waiters fucking stunk. They had the BO was repugnant, dude. It was
the
like,
pesca grajo was real.
Yeah, it was legit.
Smells like old onions.
Yeah, it's it's like old onions and potatoes that did not sit well.
That's like a thing that the smell is so unique, and you learn that smell. I remember going through that phase in like middle school, high school. I can't remember like what era, but it was like early high school where all of a sudden you would just be like, hey, everybody stinks, like there would be someone who just like didn't get the talk about deodorant and all that stuff.
But it's funny because we all got that talk through school, like the videos that they sent us, like in your body and you need to start wearing deodorant and blah, like all those cheesy videos. I saw a bunch of those.
Really?
Your parents didn't teach you that?
No, I got that from my mom and my dad. And
no, I got that as well from my mom and dad. But I saw a lot of videos where they were like, it was a cartoon, and they're like, you may notice some hair starting to grow in places. Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then you'll do this, and you see the fucking stink smell.
What was the sound effect? You got cut off because your data. What was the sound effect?
Let me get full bars again, and I'll do it again so I don't get cut off.
Was it?
So
You
like
hair growing?
Get hair, and it's like bing, 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 bing. And then it was like, and then they would raise their arms, and you would see the little stink waves, the little smell waves.
Yeah.
Like, you may notice strange smells, whatever. And then there was,
that what those smells are for, right?
What?
Those are pheromones.
The smell those are fuck me smells.
Yes.
That's genuinely.
Ironically, it has the opposite effect
because we are modern, spoiled.
Yeah, because we're evolved.
We evolved.
Yes,
modern
we smelled flowers and go, hey, we should probably rub some of this shit on us.
But espérate, hold on. So I have to say though, I was dating someone, and I actually liked their BO.
Oh.
Wow. Okay,
that's when
a sign of attraction, like of your
correct.
Like when you kiss someone, you're tasting their chemistry, right? Like kissing is way weirder than you think it is. Like again, human beings, we are fucking gross. Like we are disgusting creatures. And I'm not even talking about like the disgusting stuff. I'm talking about the day-to-day bullshit. Like
I tell my wife that all the time. My wife goes, oh, you're so like anything about porn or anything about sex. My wife is like, her default is, oh, you're gross. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's you. Like I'm watching a porn and she's like, you like that? That's gross. I'm like, yeah, no, it definitely is. It definitely is. I'm like, I'm not.
But what is gross to her? Like any just girl on girl?
No. She means like what Mike. She means biologically what Mike is talking about. Like any kind of like.
Oh,
like you know what I mean? Like I don't want to get graphic, but like shots in the face and blah. She's like, that's gross.
But I mean,
and she's like, "That's gross," and I'm like, "It is." I'm not saying it's not gross.
Of alcohol you're talking about?
Oh yeah.
No, yeah.
That's
we're talking about pictures. We're talking about snapshots of pictures, right?
Correct.
Just real in the face.
Right.
Like headshots. They're called. They're not called face shots. They're called headshots.
Pheromones. But yeah, so like stuff like that. My wife was like, "That's gross," and I have never been like, "It's not gross." I'm like, "It is. It is."
The gross is the turn on for.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm like, that's just like, yeah, it's totally gross. But
I can't look at a money shot if I'm watching porn. Like I can't. Like I can't. Like I will stop it and move on to another.
Move on. That's the end. What are you fucking talking about?
But I don't wait till the end.
What do you mean you move on?
Just the beginning.
Yeah. What porn do you watch that starts with a money shot and then continue? And then Tarantino the porn? It's a Tarantino porn.
It's a Tarantino porn.
A money shot and then 4 days earlier, and then
I've never understood. That's honestly like it's all a visual thing. Like I'm not a big fan of that either because
Right.
I am not. So I specifically speaking, like it always bothers me when you're watching a video and then all of a sudden the girl is doing a lot of work, right? She's doing all her things down there to make him come, right? And then like literally right at the end, the guy's like, "Give me that," and then he, like he does it
He jerks
himself.
it off.
Yeah, because
And then
they
I'm
can
just
never
watching
do
a
it
guy
as well
jerk
as
off for 5 minutes at the end
because they
there.
can never do it as well as we can. We got to get there, and it's like, look, I've given you 4.5 minutes. I've
Well,
given you your chance.
4.5
Now I
minutes.
just just give me the 20 seconds, and I got to get there. We got to get this.
The whole point
We got
of-
crew, bro. We got crew. We got a break for lunch.
It's true, but the
We
whole
got three-
point of like
We
having
got 3
sex
more
with
movies
another,
to film today. We got 3 more movies to film today. We got to get this fucking going. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
but at a certain point, the guys like I would love to interview like a male porn star that just to like hear the dynamic of like it's like, man, these girls like there's sometimes where you just gotta be like that. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. But then like what bothers me is that like right at the end, because I like to time my finish to the finish on the movie.
Yes, of course.
Now
of course.
I'm fit like trying to maintain my finish and time it right, but then I'm just watching this guy like the girls just at a certain point. There's also sometimes where the girl just looks kind of bored, like she's just like, like da, like she's just waiting, and I'm just like,
Beep, beep, beep.
now I'm just watching a guy like jerk off, and I'm just like, well, this is counterproductive. This is what a weird obstacle course at the end of this porn that I gotta get through. Like, and also the girl did the work. Let her get let her do it. Like,
Let her reap the
finish.
benefits.
The whole point of having another person there when you do it is to have her be there for the whole part. The whole
Yeah, no. Again, if they would be like from the beginning, like, hey, I'm gonna do this myself. I was like, but I gave you 4.5 minutes. I gave you. I mean,
you're really stuck on this 4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes.
Well, it's pretty industry
It's a
standard.
standard.
I don't know. It's pretty standard in the industry, sir. I don't know. I mean, you don't gotta be a professional actor to know that this is how much time they give you.
4.5 minutes.
I can't. But either way, it's gross to see. Like
No.
when a guy is, shooting
It's a
his
power
load all
move.
over her face, I'm like, and then it gets stuck in her eye, and it's not.
You stop.
pleasant.
Leave. Neri's gonna have a moment. He's gonna be like, "Click. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back." It's like, no, Neri, you're running the show.
I'm gonna get off the camera, but you keep talking. You just,
But you keep describing what you see.
doing what you're saying.
But here's the thing.
Keep going.
Here's the thing, though. Like, the reason why, like, imagine if that's gross. Imagine you've been in the woods for a decade. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my god.
Well, I always had the bit
Ugh.
years upon years ago when I was at a hotel, and and I just turned the TV on, and this is pre-internet days or pre-streaming days at least, and they put on what's that movie, Blue Lagoon.
Okay.
Right. And so the Blue Lagoon,
Classic.
the two kids are there, and they're like discovering their bodies, and it's like, hey, look, I have an erection, and then they discover their bodies, whatever.
because they're stranded in this.
Right, they're stranded on this island, right, together, and they're growing up together. They're like learning all about. No, they have nobody to teach them this. And in the bit that I had was like, I wonder at what point the dude was like, so you're gonna suck this though, right? Like, I wonder at what point is there a natural instinct for a guy to be like, but you're gonna.
It's like I can't reach it with my mouth, but
because these are people that don't.
If
These
I'm
are people.
putting 2 and 2 together,
Yeah,
there's more mouths here.
because the whole premise of the bit was like there's like we learn certain things even if nobody right out teaches us, like, oh, this is how you give a blowjob. Like, we learn certain things through society, through like, oh, suck my dick, and you're like, what does that mean? So but these two kids grew up in an island, and a stranded island where there is none of that. So like my whole premise for the bit was, at some point, do you start doing crazy, freaky shit naturally? Is that come instinctually, or do you just naturally be like, we're doing missionary and that's it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where is that?
I'm sorry.
And that's where, so like, to take it further would be like, well, at what point the two people that grew up in the woods go like, and you just lay there, and I'm gonna put this all over your face.
I
Like, is there?
I'm imagining. I don't think that I'm imagining now a moment where like they learn the wrong way to do it. Like they don't end up doing it the right way. Where like all of a sudden they're like back on a desert island. Like they're back. They get rescued and they're back in normal society. They end up splitting up and they're dating other people. And then the girl is with a guy, and then she's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna have good old fashioned normal sex," and then just starts going to the to like the guy's dick, and the guy's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing? What are you doing?" And she's like, "That's. I mean, I was gonna have sex with you," and he's like, "That's not how you do it." Like no, the clapping is how. That's what I mean. That's
yeah,
how
no,
it
you
works,
gotta you gotta beat up the balls like a speed bag. You gotta. This is not normal. This is how we have sex.
Like she just grabs it and starts going like ah at it, and that's like, yeah, that's what works, right? That's how it goes. And the guy's like, "No, where did you learn this?" He's like, "I was in a desert island with some other weirdo. I don't know."
The guy meets another chick when he gets back, and he's like, "We're gonna have sex," and it's immediately anal. She's like, "What the
Whoa!
fuck?" He's like, no, that's where you stick it, right? It's where you what? That's not.
Yeah.
Immediately anal.
It reminds.
That must be. Listen, that must be painful.
That's why Brokeback Mountain was unbelievable to me. Just
Yeah.
broke reality.
Well, Joe Rogan had
Right,
that bit on his CD where he was like, he found Brokeback Mountain hilarious because he just and then went right in. He's like, "No, sir.
Yeah.
No, you don't just go right in, sir. That's not the way it works."
No, at all.
Rude. It is rude.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait. In all fairness, that's
we're getting a peek into Martika's fucking bedroom. And in all fairness, I mean, it can happen if you had enough alcohol. It's fine.
I like how Martika's here and we talked about porn in like 3 seconds.
Mind you, I started with like, do you take showers every day? Like this, that's how this evolved.
Yeah.
So, like, do you take showers on a day?
Which I have a story about that.
Ew, I don't know if I want to hear.
I was like, shush.
Dirty anal, like
dirty anal. No, I don't. Well, whatever. That's not okay. Wow, we're really gonna talk about this. Okay, so
you said it.
Well, first and foremost, I don't do anal. I physically can't. Can't.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, I physically can't. So when I was 19, I had like an anal fissure.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Not only
those are brutal.
Not only did I have an anal fissure, I had a cyst right above my coccyx.
A pilonidal cyst, yeah.
A pilonidal cyst.
Of course.
And because of it, like, mind you, it like I have like they had to close the opening.
Just tell people you had your tail removed. You had a vestigial tail.
Basically,
you had to go in there and
basically. So so physically,
it's funny.
I
heard about anal fissures on a podcast years ago, and their description of it, I was like, I can't even, and I've never dared to. Mike is an actual medical professional, so there's no like if you tell me, Mike, oh, I've seen him, I'm like, I take a word for it, but I've never even after hearing that description, I've never even fucking Googled it.
I've never been like, hey, let me get a look at that anal fissure, but I have seen
new song alert.
Yeah. Let me get a look at that anal fissure. No,
by the way, people must be like, this is the most unsexiest conversation ever.
That's the thing. Sex is gross too, but we love it. You know what I mean? Like
that's how this conversation started. That's how this conversation started. It's like our bodies are gross.
Yeah.
Everything is gross, and I've never not acknowledged that, but I've always said like, yeah, no, it's still a turn on. Like I'm in.
If I told you I had a pilonidal cyst, you want to like go?
No, it depends on how bad it is. Also, because like I've seen some bad ones. You know, like
they
have to excise it. Like they have to cut it. It's like the surgery. It's like a big surgery, and the thing is that it's right by your asshole. So like the thing. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yolanda says this never stops. Bro, that is the most gangster shit I've ever fucking heard.
Mike, you're red.
I must see y'all later.
Shit. Oh my god.
Wow.
Bye.
Wow.
Wow. I'm shook.
Hey, Tony. Sir, you fucking soldier, sir.
Family, I'm proud, is what I'll say. To change the topic immediately, I
Oh, no,
genuinely,
this is gonna be the promo that gets.
yeah. No. To erase this from my mind, what I will say is that being a medical professional, like in the ER, also changes like what you think is gross. Like not every like you can't at this point like normal like you can't gross me out. Like you can't not without like legit like bad stuff. I'm not.
Right.
First of all, this is not a challenge to anyone to send me gross shit. Please don't do that. But like, because I seen like the pilonidal cyst surgery I saw was one that was worthy of coming back to the emergency room because it got infected because it's too close to the asshole. You know, like shit.
Yes,
like
yes.
like
So-
it's not good. You know, like anytime people like I've seen so many titties and vaginas in my day, but let's just say they're not having their best day when I see them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
nobody,
they're all,
nobody goes there on their best day. Nobody goes to the ER on their best
all.
day.
At all. But hold on, wait.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Hold on. So because I had a pilonidal cyst, the way to close it, you should know this. It's with like a vacuum.
You have to do this. Yeah, because it drains.
Yeah. So I had to walk around FIU.
Oh my god.
3 months with a vac, okay? And I had
With
a
a
nurse
tail.
with a tail and a nurse having to come in every 2 days to change the dressing.
Wow. Yeah.
And no, and it gets better. I felt like RoboCop because I had to be plugged into the wall at night so that so the drain wouldn't freaking run out of battery.
Yep.
Okay,
So-
all of this while I was 19. Well, no, mentira, 20 years old.
So
Embarrassing.
were you single?
Guess what? Can I tell you that I got a date with the fucking vac?
Yeah, guys, you think a guy's gonna care?
Wait,
No.
Wait, you
Because-
got a date with
but
the
I
what?
hid that shit. I hid that shit.
Wait, you got a date with the what?
I had a date with the guy, and it was like right
With
before
the guy?
Valentine's
What
Day.
guy? What you said? The guy.
Well, no, a guy.
A guy.
A guy.
For a
Okay.
moment,
Guy.
I thought you said I got a date with the doc, and I was like, no, that's not ethical. You can't. I mean, that's right. That's not.
Unethical.
I mean, the doctor that's giving you this, like,
No,
date with
it
him?
wasn't. It
so
wasn't.
that's
the
why I was like,
doctor.
He's
La
like, hey,
baja mental.
he's like, hey, while I'm back here,
so
You
everything's
have a
looking
great
great.
ass.
Yeah, everything's great. Aside from the surgical wound, everything looks good. And I would like to be.
So you
friends
guys,
with-
you hooked up with the vacuum cleaner attached to you?
Well, no. Hold on. I did not have sex with that. First of all, at that point, I was like, I had only been with my ex-fiance and my ex that I had been on and off with for 14 years. So, like, again, yo era santica as fuck.
14 years.
Yeah, on and off.
Jesus
I know.
I'm sorry. I don't
know.
mean to. I'm not mocking you in any way or judging
No,
you.
no.
But
I
that
judge
is a
myself.
big number to hear. Then on and off after.
Yeah, but 14 years when she's fucking 14 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I started know when I was 13.
Super
Oh,
young. I mean,
right,
that's
right.
not. You know what I mean? That's like she's not old now, so
It's
it's
a
not like.
shocking
Oh,
number.
thank you.
Let me be
Yeah.
shocked. It's a shocking number.
It is
Yeah.
a shocking number. It
Shout out
shocks
to
me.
shout out to Hilda for making another T-shirt of ours. She says, "Write that down for the T-shirt." She's talking about
But
your
I
lawnmowers
noticed never
never
stopped.
stop me. Shout out to my homeboy Tony that says that's why I married her after only 8 weeks. My friend, that makes sense.
We know what she meant. But so yeah, like I still went on a date, but I mean, I was like very, very santica back then. Like for me you would not even get past a first kiss like on a first date, like at all. I was
because you have you have a vacuum cleaner attached to you.
I guess
I
it
think you were
ruins the
being a little
mood.
bit over picky at that point.
well, thank God that by Valentine's Day they had taken off the back. So I was okay.
People, I mean, we're joking around a little bit, but it is like a genuinely big. It can be a genuinely big surgery, and I don't want to diminish it's not a little deal. It's a big deal, especially if you're at the point of surgery.
But nobody's
And
downplaying
it
it.
was just like this big.
Nobody's downplaying it. In fact, we're all saying shit like, "Oh my god, that's a big deal." Did you get?
Yeah.
Did you date?
But-
Did you like? We're asking about, but we're not. Nobody's downplaying this.
No.
situation.
I'm just giving it as a caveat to the listener. I'm not saying we
Uh-huh.
are doing that. I'm just saying that if you like,
If
whatever.
anything,
come on, man.
If anything, rewind it when I go anal fissure. That sounds gross.
Yeah.
That sounds really bad.
But
Yeah,
the
it sounds really bad.
but the idea of like having some sort of medical thing, like as I'm older now, that's come up more often than when I was younger, to have some medical thing going on, or to like have to like, hey, like please like stay away from my hemorrhoid or whatever, like you just have to like,
Oh
you
my
have to
God.
acknowledge, like you have to, like, you look at, I'm 40 now, diarrhea could strike at any moment, who knows. It's just like, who knows when that's gonna happen. So you just have to be like, well, let's make sure there's a, like, let me go clean up and let me go make sure everything's good before anything else happens, just out of courtesy to you.
Right.
Well, I've been fat all my life, so that's the way I always was. It's like, I'm fat, so I'm taking off my shirt now.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll tell you this, in New York that I've been
If
walking
you
around
faint,
more,
I completely understand.
I'm gonna bring it back around to showering, because in New York, and I'm out in the world walking around and I'm commuting, public transportation, all that shit. The idea I'm up to 2 a day in terms of showers, because I just feel like I should rinse it all off. Sometimes I don't use soap though, and I just use water, like to get like that after the pool rinse, because I feel like soap also fucks up your skin too.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's why the CDC said what they said, because there's over.
And so did they. I have the article if you want to read it.
And that's why I assume that it was always, because I've heard people talk about this, like, oh, if you bathe every day, it's bad for you.
But if my butthole itches, I'm gonna wash it with
Using soap every day rids the body of natural oils.
Yeah, that's also true.
Which is what we're trying to do, dummy. We're trying to rid it of that, because those natural oils smell gross.
Well, yeah, but what they do is that they wash their vitals every day. What they do oh my God, did so they wash their vitals, like they wash their pits. Ashton Kutcher will wash his balls and his sack every day. And obviously it is
his balls and his sack.
His balls. They come separate.
I've learned something new about Ashton Kutcher that I did not know about.
Yeah, he may be super good looking, ladies, but he has his balls out of his sack.
Yeah, they're independent. Yeah, Mila Kunis has them in her purse. And,
right. Well, I mean,
but like that's the thing, you wash the essentials, like the Austin Powers, where it's like the top and tails, a whore's bath, if you will.
Yes. You know that before I go out, like I might have showered already, but I'll still like wash my and my armpits. Yeah.
Just in case you get
some. Just in case. No, not because of that. Just like I want to make sure that I smell extra nice. So but like
he's not gonna get anywhere, then who's he gonna smell nice
for? First and foremost, like I like to keep my snatch smelling like fucking flowers.
Okay. Great, that's fine. And I'm not saying that's bad, but you said after you took a shower, you already took a shower, you're about to leave the house, you go for an extra rinse. That all makes sense if you're thinking to myself, just in case I have sex tonight. It makes sense. But if you're saying
I'm not going to tell a vagina owner what to do with their vagina. So
I'm just saying why. I'm just saying who's it going to smell good for if it's not for
herself.
For my gut, first of all, that down there is like a whole animal in and of itself.
It is.
You have a penis. You have a penis, sir. You have a penis, sir. But still, like, and after I hit 30, out of nowhere, me and my girls talk about this all the fucking time. Like all the body odor out of nowhere. Because why? Our body's telling us, oh yeah, it's time to put a baby inside of me. Right? So that's why more pheromones are released.
All the stink is that those are like baby making stinks. Like this smell is an indicator that I need you to be to like. Well, and that's also like a thing people don't talk about. Like, I hate when people talk about how they're trying to have a baby because it's like, oh, you're blowing loads raw into your wife. Cool. Like that's what they're telling you.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you? So after we had our first child, I was working on a cruise ship, but I wasn't doing comedy. It was a friend of mine owned a warehouse, owned like anyways, he hired me. It was a friend of mine's brother. He hired me and my friend gave us a free cruise. But we had to sell watches, like these high end watches on the ship, and we were in watches. No, they were legit high end watches. But when I say free, when I put the air quotes of free cruises, it's like we worked 14-hour days. That's not fucking any fuck. And we were on our feet all the fucking time. Like it was brutal. I experienced prior to me ever doing comedy on a cruise ship, I experienced what it was like for 7 days, what it was like to be a crew member on the ship, like an actual crew member, and that shit was fucking brutal, dude.
Hard.
So 14-hour days on your feet, blah 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 blah, and I remember specifically being on the club, and I had just had my daughter, my first daughter, and being at the nightclub because my friend wanted to go to the nightclub, so we're going to the nightclub, and we meet people, like you meet people throughout the cruise, oh man, whatever, blah blah, and there was this kid, he was 19 years old, and he was about to go into the military, and I forgot how I was 30, I was already 30 years old, and he said, oh, who you here with? And I told him the whole story, whatever. And then like, yeah, I'm married. I just had a baby a few months ago. And he was like, you had a baby? Like, yeah. And he's like, bro, oh no, my wife was pregnant. That's what it was. My wife was pregnant. He's like, oh, dude, what's it like to come inside a girl without a condom? Like that was his actual fucking question to me in real life. This wasn't like on a keyboard. This wasn't like on a weird.
Yes.
Like and this is a person, again, he's a kid. He was a child who was 18 years old at the time.
Also, kudos to him for having safe sex out there.
Yeah.
And not blowing loads into women without protection.
I remember when he asked that question, I started laughing. I was like, that's what you got out of all of this? The fact that I'm married and my wife is pregnant, and then like what you got from this message is like, you get to blow loads in her without a condom. What's that feel like? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
well, what does it feel like?
Good, I guess. Like it's like
the way it's supposed to be.
Like, yeah,
everything else feels unnatural.
My wife and I, we were together for like 4 years prior to that, so it wasn't the first time that happened. It was, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
And he was just happy to have sex finally because they had to wait till they were married,
right?
And they, responsible.
But I have a serious question.
Hold on, real quick. Let's get through some comments. Hold the question. Hold the comment.
Yeah, we're back.
Vanessa says diarrhea can strike at any moment. Another t-shirt idea.
It's a t-shirt factory today.
Yeah. Yolanda says doing.
I'm less embarrassed about my parents' anal stuff than I am about that joke. I'm more embarrassed by your doo-doo joke.
Bad male anatomy.
Yep. That's my Tika's problem. So
what do you mean bad male anatomy?
Oh, yeah, the balls in the sack.
Oh, yeah.
Balls in the sack. She said the most mature WuBro ever. Yeah.
I mean, technically, we would get him like NC-17 rating.
No, by saying sack and balls, I don't think so.
We're talking about loads in the face. Yeah.
We're talking about NC-17 shit.
But we're not saying the nasty words. We're saying things like money shot. We're not using, you know what I mean?
I just said blowing loads into your wife.
She just that was a question I was asked though. That's not the same.
I said it. I'm saying I said it. The whole point, I'm talking about gross shit already. I'm talking about like the human body releases stink juice to tell a male to come blow a load in me so that we can make another one of these stinky ass animals.
Yeah, give me all your stink juice.
Stink juice. And like that baby, when it comes out, is also gonna look real gross.
Yeah,
it's gonna be super gross for a long time.
Babies
are
ugly.
Yeah.
They're
gonna come out covered in goop.
All right, so
Martika, what were you gonna say before?
I was gonna ask, what does that feel like? Because for girls, like we don't know, like you know what I mean. Like we obviously, because we don't have a penis, but what does that feel like for a man when he comes to fruition?
I'm a virgin. I don't know. Mary, go ahead.
Yeah. Inside of a woman without a strap.
Well, the release is not as different than the actual act itself. So during sex, there's a big difference between having sex with a condom and having sex without a condom. There's a noticeable difference for us how it feels with a condom and without a condom. The release, the final moment of truth, doesn't feel any different really at that point. The release is the same because you're not.
I'll say this: it's neater. Like cleanup way easier.
Oh yeah, it's good. But also there's that smell. There's that.
It's a weird like the latex.
The latex smell.
It's not even latex anymore. It's like polyurethane or whatever that you do. But the whole like sometimes I just jerk off with a condom because it's easier, like to clean up after.
So that's
unless if you're coming inside of her, like she has to deal with the cleanup more so than you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. But also, I'm just, hey, look, am I the only one that's a giving lover and caring about the other person's experience? Yeah, I don't want to ruin it by making a fucking mess. No, I'm kidding.
But sex is messy. If it's good, it's messy.
No, but it doesn't. The release part.
And if she squirts, it's even messier.
Well, the point of it is that like that's the whole thing about the coming on the face or whatever, where the guy just jerks off for like 10 minutes or whatever at the end. Is that
four and a half?
4.5. I'm sorry. I like you don't feel like I feel my penis. I don't feel the ejaculate. You know what I mean? Like once it leaves my body, who cares who cares? It doesn't matter where it goes. But like you feel I feel what my body, so
like the
yeah. Yes, that's exactly the noise that
by the way, has anybody ever commented on either one of you like your tells during
the O face, the vinegar?
Yes.
That's if you watch The League, that's a whole thing that they do where they talk about the vinegar strokes, where it looks like you smell vinegar, where you're like, or whatever. That's a whole thing in The League. It's very funny. It's really good.
Oh my god.
Nobody's ever told me about. I mean, nobody's ever said anything, good or bad. I guess, is that a bad thing? I feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like
Then that means, listen, if someone tells you something about your tells, that means that that's noticeable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do anything. I do everything pretty normal. I say shit like, I'm
gonna come.
No, I at the moment of ejaculating, I'm like, I have the power of Grayskull. By the power of Grayskull, I think that's pretty standard. Everybody's. That's not normal.
Here's the thing. I also think
it's like that's not normal. What is your guys? I mean,
I think it's like when it comes to sex, people are just basically. Are you getting echo too?
I am. That's why I keep exiting.
Hold on, maybe it's me.
And then coming back in.
Hold on, let me get out.
Do you hear my echo now?
No.
It's my Dika. She's fired. Is she coming back in?
I hope so.
I'll tell you this. When it comes to like all this sex stuff, everyone just wants to feel like they're Was there
a rooster
doing it right? That's Chiquita's here.
Oh, okay.
And she's watching the show over in the other room. So she clearly we're doing well because there's a laugh happening.
There was a laugh. I just heard a weird noise. I'm like, was that a rooster? Did the rooster crow? What's going on there?
Yeah, easy.
No, I'm not making fun of her. I'm just saying I heard a weird noise.
She's Latina. You don't have to compare her to a fucking rooster. Easy.
Well, that's way nicer than I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to be like, really? Because she's a cock. And you're not like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Like, this would have been a whole different ball game.
No.
Where did Martika go?
I don't know. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
Okay. One of the things I was going to say is that when it comes to like sex and all these things, so much of your adolescence and your development, and my experience, just my personal experience, and also talking to other people, is like you just want to feel like you're doing it right, or you're not weird, or you're not like out of the normal scope of things. So like at a certain point, like you just want to know that it depends on the type of person you are, because some people are learn that you just want to go fuck whatever you want, and then there's some people that you want to be a good lover, and then there's some of you caring and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of like what you're looking for, but you don't want to be the weirdo until you start to like normal, like the opening credits of this show. When I talk about how I'm glad that the sex that I enjoy won't get me killed because I don't have to put a rope around my neck or like.
Yeah, you like vanilla.
It's not necessarily that vanilla. Vanilla tastes good. The most favorite flavor in the world is vanilla. Vanilla is a flavor. It is good and delicious, and it's satisfying, and it's all you need sometimes. So like the people who like freaky shit, good luck finding the compatibility. I'm like a universal donor when it comes to blood type.
It's funny that you say that because I had a girlfriend that remember when Steak and Shake opened up in Miami? It was like a big deal next to the Walmart.
Oh right, yeah.
It was a big deal. So we would go there, and then they would have this thing where it was like milk. They would do milkshakes of any two flavors. You could combine any two flavors. And I remember I would always do like vanilla and whatever, vanilla and this, vanilla and that, and they were like, and my girlfriend at the time was like, vanilla is already a base flavor. You can't that's not combining two flavors. That's combining one. Like you just didn't. Vanilla's already a base flavor, and I was like, no, but vanilla's an actual flavor. And she was like, no, it's not. Like it's like the base. That's where you start off. I'm like, it's not white paint. It's not like every paint is white and then you add in the color. Like it's vanilla's it's an actual flavor.
Right, correct.
Right? So that's a thing? Okay.
It is a thing. Yeah, of course.
Making sure. You just said that and it brought back this argument that I had with somebody.
Some like repressed memory of you're like vanilla, man.
17 years later, I'm like, I don't like vanilla. Vanilla's good. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like it's because that's the thing. Everyone makes generalizations, but because they're afraid to take the time, like because they want to learn the cheat code. They want to learn like the thing that works for everybody, and they want to learn the thing that will make them universally good. But when in reality, it's all about the individual. You know, like if you're with somebody,
correct,
and they like, you know, like let's say you're with somebody that you know fucking loves anal, matika, like they love it. Where you are,
good for them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just making fun of you. The point of,
hey man, if Yolanda can do it, Martika, all I'm saying is step your game up, man. You know, that's just
I'd like to announce the new series on GeekBro Network where Yolanda teaches
Martika
about her life.
I would love to produce that all fucking day. Yolanda, if you're listening to me, you ever want to do a podcast, I don't have to be a part of it. I will just produce it. I'll do I'll put all the technical aspect together and put the comments on the screen, and we could do this shit. We could fucking call it Yolanda 101 or Be Like Yolanda. Oh my god, it's fucking. I would produce the fuck out of that show. It would
Mike, would you watch?
No. No way. I love my stepmom, and I encourage her to share her life and experiences. But no, what are you, crazy? I don't even know.
Oh my god, Neri, please look at the comments for the love of God.
Yolanda says, now you know why there are hooks in the ceiling.
There's no way that I'm going to hear her explain that to an audience of people.
Vanessa says Yolanda's world. Boom.
Yo.
La 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 la. Yolanda's world. La 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 la.
But think about that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about where like I don't need to hang hooks from the ceiling to, you know, that I don't need to hang hooks and shit from the ceiling to feel like I'm getting sexually satisfied. And also I'm worried like what if the hook break? I'm not a small guy. You know, like what if
you're a big dude? What
if the hooks break and now I'm injured and I'm in the ER having to explain like why my dick's broken because I landed weird? You know, like
that'd be amazing.
That is actually that is a real thing that can happen. So be careful, guys.
I think that's where your fear of being other than vanilla comes from. It's from working in the ER. And
maybe
I have to be one of these people to come into the ER and explain this shit. Like, why is there a Heineken bottle up my ass? Like, why do I like now having to explain that, you being a medical professional yourself? I think that's what has turned you off to like, I don't want to try anything that's going to get me to the ER.
It's not the only reason, but you're like,
I'm not saying the only reason. I'm saying that's a main reason.
That's a good reason.
I think that's like where it started, where it began was I don't want to fucking have to go into the ER.
I wonder how much I can talk about some of the stuff I've seen because it is technically.
Well, if you speak about it in hypotheticals, like if there was a different universe in a different world, in a different universe, hypothetically speaking.
No, but I can also.
You have once seen this thing.
Or no, but there's such a thing as like, I guess like if I don't give any identifiers, I guess it's fine. But the idea of like, so like people would come in and they would lie to you about like what it is. And there's this guy that would come in like every month and you would see him and every month he'd have a different thing up his ass. And we're just like, you know, like, hey, just use shit with a flange. Like use shit that won't just like, because at a certain point your butt is like.
It loses.
No, your butt just claims whatever you have there, and it's mine now. Like it's like whack, and that's it. That's it, right?
Ow.
There's a very clear vacuum thing that happens, and as you pass a certain point, and it's like, whoop, and if you don't have a flange on it, everyone out there, if you want to put something up your butt, make sure it has a flange on it so it doesn't get stuck, so that you don't lose your grip on it. Also, because you're gonna want to use lube, or you could get anal fissures from the stretching. the whole point of all of this is for it to feel good, right? For it to be rewarding, to feel like enjoyable. Some people like the pain stuff, and then you get to the point where this guy, we all, because everybody knew him, kind of felt that he enjoyed the shame of it, because then there's also those weirdos.
Oh my God.
I want to be shamed. So.
I'm right now.
So why do you think it's so hard to gross me out? You can't win. I've seen worse.
My butthole feels all types of ways.
Flat
with an E at the end. With an E at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because this is also this. I mean,
a miner's pick with 2 points. I mean, if you want to shove that up your ass, go ahead. Be careful.
A rib or rib for strength for guiding.
Or an attachment to another object.
I have the camera in the middle of the
Wait a
screen.
second. Hold on. Now I'm going to have to ask my gay BFFs about this, because I would like to know if they attach flanges to their penis, or their butt plugs, or...
Why do you think a plug has the shape that it has?
Also,
look, you just had like a crystallization, an epiphany.
Also,
the more you know.
You could just ask other women that have not had anal fissures, and
Well, vagina.
No. Most women and friends of mine aren't sticking shit up their ass. Like, they got their...
I think that's a lie. Whether they talk about it or not, that's a different story.
Listen, me and my girl...
They don't admit it.
Yeah. Whether they're openly talking about it at fucking brunch, that's fine. That I believe. But your generalization of most women don't do that, I find it difficult to believe that I am defying odd makers. I find it difficult to believe that out of the small number of women that I've been with, I am somehow defying the Vegas odds. I find that very difficult to believe.
Of butt stuff?
Yeah.
But even then, like, if that's your thing and you're with somebody who doesn't like that thing, whatever it is.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm just talking about Martika. She's like, most women don't. I'm like, that's inaccurate, madam.
It's all right, man.
At least hold on. I'm talking about my friends. Maybe girls outside of my group.
I like how defensive you got. I'm talking about my friends.
Have you asked them?
Of course I have.
You said, hey, do you do this? Because I would love to do this. Do you do this? See
Mary,
that?
I don't appreciate you doing my bit of getting up close to I don't appreciate you stealing my material, because that is a conspiracy theory bit, not up close and personal bit. It is about telling the people about January 6th is about freedom.
So Hilda says sometimes you just need to try several flavors to figure out what your favorite is before you decide on the double scoop of that's a good point. Chiquita Sanchez Lopez says ha 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 ha.
Ja.
Martika went French with it. Ja.
Yes.
Your dad, Yolanda says your dad weight
tested everything.
That's
Coño. I want Yolanda and Tony to send out these pictures of the swing. Like, I don't want to see them using it. I just want to see it.
Hey. That's for Yolanda's World podcast. You fucking saved that for Yolanda's World podcast.
Fine.
We don't do that here. I was confused the fuck out of that show. Chiquita says, really no hooks? Okay, I guess. She's disappointed.
Yeah.
She wanted hooks. William says, butts a vacuum. That's another t-shirt. Another t-shirt, baby. Vanessa says, the sound effects are killing me.
My butt sound effects?
Yeah. William says, Marta's an undercover blonde. Wow. Jesus, William. Why? Because she didn't know about the butt stuff? Okay. Maybe. Yolanda says, sometimes you do not know if it's your thing until you try it.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, it's not like I haven't, I tried before all my freaking health problems happened to me.
Right. Yeah. The thing is also like, so here's the thing, just because you try it, like, doesn't mean you have to like it.
Right.
That's the whole reality.
You try it 14 times doesn't mean that you won't like it the 15th time, Mike. Okay.
Yeah. No, my saying is you have to try everything twice, because so like anything you do, the first time you do it, you're like,
I don't know, man.
Hold on. Let me do the bit. The first time you do something, it's scary. It's daunting. Maybe you don't know the proper the person you're doing it with is their first time too. It's not exactly how you plan it. The second time you get a real good feel for it, right? Like you get a real, all right, I knew it was coming. Here we go. And if you do it a third time, that's your thing now. Like it's just part of your repertoire. So like, you know,
like
if if you try everything twice, if you're still doing it a third time, just keep doing it. It's you enjoy it. And find someone who enjoys it
with you
or loves you enough to tolerate doing that thing that you love, that kind of thing.
Find someone who's willing to drive you to the ER, because ambulance rides are expensive. So find somebody who's willing to drive you. I think that's the message of that should be.
I'm not going to date my Uber driver. I don't trust nobody.
Well, don't you have a girlfriend now?
I'm joking.
But he's also living in New York. He also saying,
yeah. I mean, we're both taking that Uber to the hospital.
Yeah. Find somebody to go with you on that Uber drive.
Well, find someone who will be there to tell the doctor exactly what happened because your jaw is dislocated or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Or your mouth is like locked into his
What happened, Doc, was you see we have these hooks, right? And
you see these hooks? Want to know how I got these scars?
Oh, that's great. I'll tell you how I got these scars. Oh, it's fantastic.
So good. Do you know what I do? This has been, I mean, objectively, what we're talking about is actually romantic because we were talking about finding it with people who enjoy what we're talking about. This is all about romance.
Is it?
As a disclaimer. As an attempt to recover the whole show, this is about romance, everybody. This is about love and connection.
That's the Hallmark card. Find somebody who's as freaky as you.
Right. So Neri, in post, we're gonna put the sitcom heartful moment, the heartfelt moment sound effect music.
Hey, can I just tell you? So I'm showing my kids Family Matters for the first time, right?
Oh my!
What a hard right turn!
No.
This could have gone so much worse.
Well, you talked about the sappy music and the heartfelt, So I'm showing them the Family Matters, and they're digging it, man. They're digging it. They laugh at all the slapstick stuff. My son gets mad at every single time that Steve Urkel walks into the house. He's like, why don't they lock their door? Like, he's so upset. He's like, lock the door, guys. Lock the door. He can't get in if you lock the door. Like, he's just that guy. Yeah. So, but the other day, so yesterday we were watching it, and I because I've seen all of these episodes, or a lot of them anyways, but especially the early ones. We're on season 2 right now, and there's an episode where Laura wants to get a Black History class into the curriculum, like year round, or have Black History class, and she's getting petitions and signing or whatever. And then there's a note in her locker that says, if you want to know Black history, go back to Africa. And then she closes her locker, and on the locker there's the N-word spray painted on the locker, like the actual N-word, by the way. It's not like
show it on the show.
They fucking show it. It's not like abbreviated. It's not like
and it's the full with the R at the end.
With the ER at the end, everything. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not what rhymes with jigga.
No. It's legit.
No, I just said ER. What do you, I mean? Just
how else for reference. I'm just saying for reference. So it's because
No, it's the ER, and it's the full thing, and it's not like a different world. In a different world, and in the episode where they were talking about racial tensions or racism, there was Dean Cain was the bad guy, was the white guy, and then he was spray painting.
He's actually the bad guy in real life now.
In real life, he is too. Yeah. He's we're not gonna get political, but he's very
to the right.
He's a real old piece of shit. That guy. fuck any political. That guy
I know. I'm trying to be fucking. All right, moving on. So anyways, in the show, he spray paints. He's gonna spray paint the N-word, and he spray paints and I before doing before they get there, and then there's a fight, whatever. And he's like, "Oh, what were you gonna spray paint? You were gonna spray paint the N-word?" And he's like, "No, I was gonna put nice guy. He's a nice guy, whatever." But if Family Matters, they put the fucking whole word. Now come the questions from my kids, right?
Oh, wow.
And this is the part my daughter, who can read, said, what does that mean?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, fuck. So then I had to go into this thing where I was like, it's a very nasty word. And I literally had to go and say it's the worst word that you can say. This is not a thing where it's okay if you mess up or you slip up every once in a while. You cannot say this word. And my daughter says, "Is that the N word?" And I was like, "Whoa!" Like it fucking took me back. Now the whole time I'm already fighting back tears at this point. Like I'm having, so I'm having a discussion, and I'm trying to be the parent and blah blah. This is what happens. It's bad people. And then my son goes, "What did the notes say? What do they mean by go back to Africa?" My son is 6 years old. He'll be 7 in October. And I had to tell him, explain to him, talk to him about racism, and talk to him about how some people think that they're better than other people just based upon the color of their skin or the way they think or the way. So I had to go into like overall prejudice and overall.
Wow.
It's such a difficult, because we were just laughing at Steve Urkel, and now we're getting into this such a real conversation. And I'm never gonna be that parent that takes the easy way out and be like, "Don't worry about it. That's not for you." You know what I mean? Like it's like, all right, you're asking me this question. I'm gonna tell you what this is, and it's a very difficult lesson. So I'm explaining this to them. So I say all of this to say that sometimes that music doesn't help. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's sometimes
the heartfelt music.
The heartfelt music doesn't. But I was like, oh boy, I'm like fucking choking back tears now. But I'm like, oh fuck, this is brutal.
What did you
Brutal.
like? It was a moment where like there should be an app on your phone when you talk to your kids where you just go click and then it starts playing like the
yeah.
And then
It was happening on the screen. It was happening on the screen. They were like talking about us. It was like the music was playing in the screen in the background. It was.
Do you remember that episode? You haven't gone to that yet, but the episode on Family Matters where the son gets stopped by a white cop.
Yes.
No,
I remember that one.
I don't remember that episode. I did.
Well, it made the rounds.
My kids and I did watch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode when they got arrested. That we watched that episode together.
Right. No,
but I didn't. I don't remember the Eddie Winslow.
So Eddie Winslow gets Darius McCrary, his real name. So Eddie Winslow gets
Eddie Winslow, bro. It's Eddie Winslow. Let's take it easy.
Okay, whatever.
And then Carl Winslow.
Because like I've met him. He's a real person. I'm like, he's Eddie Winslow, bro.
I haven't met him. No, I have not. But go ahead, Mike.
No. I was just gonna say that like there's the whole thing with Carl Winslow goes and he talks to the guy, and the white cop is like, well, you shouldn't have been walking in that neighborhood, and like he just doesn't get. He's like, nah, you're fuck you, And then there's like a lot of the thing is that all of those shows they kind of like. I don't necessarily know, like they're definitely shining a light on it, and they have been for years. Like In the Heat of the Night was a fucking show in the 70s, like a movie in the 70s, like it's not like any of this is new, but they keep having to have these same moments.
Conversations.
Like the thing is that
it's just weird.
They did it in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, here's the thing. So what I've learned now as a parent who's trying to broaden my kids' horizons, what they watch. I noticed that there's certain shows that I can't watch with my kids. I had to learn that, not the hard way, but I had to learn that, through trial and error. Like as much as I enjoy even sitcoms, as much as I enjoy Big Bang Theory, that's not a show to watch with young kids because they talk about sex all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So there's certain shows that even though they're sitcoms and even though they're on broadcast on network television, they're still not really
age appropriate
for kids, at least for me. Whatever, if you're the kind of parent that wants to watch that with you, fucking watch. I don't care. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying for me. Before I get the emails, nobody can tell me how to parent making. But
I do like how the topic of this show has gone from
hygiene
to deviant or divergent sexual practices, and then Neri, you're a good dad. You're like a solid dad, like what's like you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it started with your wife calling you gross for watching something pornographic, and then it's also like, yeah, but also he cares about his kids.
But I'm multifaceted, baby. I'm multifaceted, man. I don't want to put my shit on my kids, but that's a bit that I have on stage now when I talk about my wife. When I ask my wife for oral sex, and my wife goes, You want me to kiss my children with that mouth? And I was like, not immediately. Like, that's, so that's the bit
Like,
that I have
give
on
it a
stage.
minute.
Yeah, that's the bit that I have on stage. Like, wash your mouth or brush your teeth. I mean, they're asleep. What the fuck is happening? What are you doing? So
Wow.
going back to the whole
Gross.
thing. So there's certain shows that you can't, you go watch. There's more family friendly shows. So watching,
Saved by the Bell was very family friendly. Very
Saved by
family.
the Bell
yeah.
is also like
So like
not aged.
yeah, the Goldbergs. So we're watching
I
all
heard
these
that's
shows
good.
that are family friendly shows. And the Goldbergs are fantastic. It's like legitimately funny. But so I'm watching Family Matters, and when you're watching a family show, right? Aside from the fact that it has family in the
Full
title,
House también was wholesome.
Full House is garbage. But yeah, so we're
But
watching
it was
these
wholesome.
shows. Yes, you're right. But then they snuck in such a serious topic, and you're like, oh. I thought I could take the day off from parenting today, and apparently I cannot.
No.
So this is a real fucking thing. With that said, let's get to Am I the Asshole? Mike, you have the Am I the Asshole?
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Let me get you a list to choose from. Matika, you get to pick because
Yay.
Yeah, let's get to, while you do that, while you look this up, let me get through some comments. Okay. Yolanda laughed at the fact that you could do things twice. And she says that a romance equals whipped cream.
Yep, sometimes.
Actually, that is really romantic.
Yeah, like
listen
Chris Evans when he came out with the whipped cream bikini.
Yes. That movie is so under, like, people don't talk about that movie enough. Not Another Teen movie is it's awful, but also like just incredibly well done satire of all of those teen movies. It's so fucking good.
I like the fact that Yolanda agrees with you that I'm a good father. Thank you, by the way, Yolanda. But then she says deviant. She is so offended. There were 7 question marks behind that.
By the way, have you guys done like putting whipped cream in your area and like walked in, hey baby?
I'm not a fan of making a like that. I'm not a fan of stuff that like I just see better
Chiquita
in theory than in practice.
Chiquita's in the bedroom and kind of taking notes, like, what do you don't like whipped cream? No, not
Well, like everybody's like, there's certain things where it's like, all right, ooh, that sounds good, like it sounds sexy, but then all of a sudden it's like whipped cream is also like not the most. It falls apart. Also, like it doesn't look like it doesn't convert. Like Cool Whip might be better, but the Cool Whip doesn't have the spray fun that you get from
Ready Whip.
Ready Whip, but Ready Whip is oil based and it also breaks down. It's a colloidal mixture. So like the reality of these things, of like.
Look, there's gonna be cleanup, Mike. There's gonna be cleanup. This is not one of those.
What I'm saying is that
a condom thing. This is cleanup.
Like it has its moment, but it's not a regular, like you can't just be it's not part of the regular rotation. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, you're not gonna do that every day. Like a special occasion, like, hey, daddy, like, I'm ready for you.
I'll tell you this. That's the shit that you do in a hotel somewhere.
Yes.
Where you're not. That's what you do when you're in a hotel somewhere where you're like, I'm not gonna have to clean this up. We're good. You know, like
Yolanda is the
best.
Oh my
Clean
god.
Clean up his tongue. Yes.
Yeah. Clean up equals tongue.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
Unless until you start to realize you're like, this is a lot of whipped cream. Did you really have to spray this much whipped cream? And then you're like, well, I have diabetes now because of this weird.
This reminds me of that Seinfeld bit where George Costanza pulls out a whole
yes. Where he's got like a pastrami sandwich with mustard and shit.
Yeah.
He's at the diner eating food and he's like, he starts getting turned on, or he's like, I've crossed the wires. Like in his brain.
Says, for not liking it, you sure do know a lot about it.
Why do you think I don't like it?
I will, because he's tried it twice.
Those are the rules. Those are the rules.
I will say that to answer your question, Martika, I've actually never done that. And here's the reason why. I've been a serial monogamer. Like I'm going like in a relationship. Like I've had very few, flings, and I had my time.
But you don't do that with the fling. You do that with your person.
Correct. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get there. And the women that I've been with, I've been like, no, they're
diabetic. They can't have the sugar.
Or they're media básica, either or.
Yeah.
So look,
Hey, man.
Also, I'm tired of people talking about basic like it's bad. There's a reason why it's basic because everybody fucking loves it.
Yeah, I have basic internet. That's fine.
Basic internet is why it's cheaper. Pumpkin spice lattes taste good. That's why they're one of the most popular products.
Oh my god, I am dead. I have to
What else is basic?
hold on. I have to share a meme with you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so am I the asshole? Let's get to
Wait,
it.
wait. She's gonna share a meme.
Wait,
She just said.
Oh. I thought you meant later.
No, like now, because with all the anal shit that we've been talking about,
I
my-
have not been talking about anal shit.
my
I've been talking about anal
my
sex.
gay BFF comes through and sends me this. When you bottom spontaneously and the dick comes out clean. And it's Oprah fucking crying and say hallelujah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! For the
Think about how
clutch.
comfortable you have to be with gross shit to risk it. To risk it. You have to prepare for that sort of thing. Ugh.
Yolanda says basic is the warm up.
Yeah.
Bad.
Basic is the default. Sometimes that's why it's default. It's good.
Yolanda's world.
Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Oh, and the logo will be like the More You Know star, but it says Yolanda's world.
And then instead of the star, it's a butthole or whatever.
Jesus, could have said the globe. Could have said a globe.
No.
Just
All right. So, are you the asshole? Maybe.
Am I the asshole? Okay, so here's the things you get to choose from. Am I the asshole for canceling the family trip because my stepson damaged my plants? Am I the asshole for pointing at the kitchen when my mother-in-law asked, "Where is our dinner?" Am I the asshole for embarrassing my parents by making them apologize to my neighbors if they wanted to keep staying there? And would I be the asshole if I just sold my house and left? Those are the titles. That's all you get to choose from. I've read.
I want the mother-in-law for sure.
That was.
I
feel like that was gonna be an easy one.
Yeah, that's.
I love a good suegra story.
Okay, we'll do that one, and if we have time, I'll do the if I sold my house.
And that one, yes, that one's.
Okay.
Yes.
Ready? Do the theme song.
Am I the asshole?
Yeah. Yeah. My husband and I had a serious injury. Oh, I'm sorry. My husband had a serious injury weeks ago. He's bedridden and his family come to see him every day. Mother-in-law keeps drilling what I need to do to make my husband comfortable, but does nothing to help. Just visits every day and sits around expecting to be fed and entertained. Sometimes brother-in-law, his wife and kids join them and turn the house into a mess. Yesterday, mother-in-law, her husband, and son came again. They checked on my husband and went to sit in the living room for hours. I served them coffee and croissant. Hours later, my husband threw up again, second time, and I had to take care of him, changing his clothes and cleaning the sheets to avoid infections. I was exhausted. I came downstairs, and mother-in-law looked at me and asked, "Hey, where's our dinner?" I was shocked that after seeing me go up and downstairs many times and cleaning and bringing new sheets and running the washing machine, that she'd expect me to prepare dinner. I'd already eaten a sandwich at 6 and yogurt. I have problems with my stomach and stress, and pregnancy made it worse. I'm 4 months in. I pointed at the kitchen and told her to help herself. She gave me a look, then said she didn't expect me to ask her to cook dinner at my house. I said I didn't expect her to ask me to cook dinner while I'm taking care of her son. She started arguing about the way I spoke about my husband, saying, as his partner, this is the least I could do, and called me unhinged for throwing in her face that I'm helping my husband. She got her husband involved, asking what his thoughts were on me making guests go hungry and forcing them to cook themselves when this is supposed to be my duty as a host/home owner. Father-in-law said they could order food and call it a day, and yelled at my younger brother-in-law to stop playing on his phone and order food. But mother-in-law got mad and lashed out, criticizing me, saying I wasn't up to the challenge of taking care of my home and my guests like an adult. I lost it on her and told her to leave since she kept yelling, disrupting my husband's sleep. She left after saying she felt sorry for her son and grandbaby with an aggressive wife and mother like me. She told everyone, and my older brother-in-law said he understood. She told everyone, and my older brother-in-law said he understood I had a lot on my plate, but lectured me about how I should have respect for his mom, who was a guest, repeatedly saying that if that was his wife, she would have acted this way. She wouldn't have acted this way, and that I shouldn't use taking care of my husband against them. He asked me to apologize, but I didn't. Info. This is, I guess, the backstory. My husband suffers from 2 major injuries, and he's got a long recovery ahead. Right now, there's so much pressure on to take care of him while keeping up with the house and chores and work. My mom and sister help, but not mother-in-law. She claimed that when I told them to leave, I was refusing to let her see her sick son, but I'd never do that. I lost a loved one before seeing them, so I understand her fear, but brother-in-law thought that was my goal. She lives in the States, in the South.
So this person does not live in the States.
No. This is the edit to elaborate where she lives. Because people were asking, like, I guess culturally, what the expectations were, and I guess she said she lives in the South.
All right. Well, before we get going, let's get to some comments. Vanessa, I think, may have an opinion, and she says, "Not the asshole." Yolanda says, "Wife is not the asshole. Kick everyone out." Vanessa says, "Yes, OP, yes." And Rookie says, Mike is the asshole for saying croissant instead of croissant.
It's croissant. Why?
Yes.
Why must we have to be cosmopolitan in our approach? This is an international podcast, Neri. One of our other co-hosts is living in Australia, overseas. I'm in New York, the world city. I have to pronounce it correctly in the French croissant.
Okay, keep blowing smoke up your own ass. Anyways,
Right.
I'm very flexible. Yes.
Vacuum.
Esa tipa es una cinga, es lo que es.
Es cinga,
Una
yeah, right?
cinga.
Right?
Fuck her, she's the asshole. Que
Why
se
even
vaya
let
pa' la
them, like,
mierda.
that's the time where people like, hey, don't come over here. Like,
Yeah.
clearly there's a lot going on. If you're just like, this isn't, you're not a guest, you're a hindrance. You're a problem.
My biggest issue with this whole thing, and there's a lot of issues here. My biggest issue here is that they keep calling themselves guests. You're not a guest.
You're family.
You're family.
Yes.
You're not a guest. I don't give a fuck if it's cultural. I get it. I'm Hispanic and fucking Latin people. I don't give a fuck. Your son, which happens to be my life partner, but your son is injured. There's no longer the hey, can you know that whole bullshit of like where do you have the forks? May I like there's no more of that. There's a life emergency here. There's a fucking, you know what I mean? He's recovering. She's fucking pregnant.
Correct. Yeah, when I was reading this, and then I got to the point where, how is that not the headline? Like, I'm pregnant, and my mother-in-law is being a piece of.
She's 4 months. I take it easy.
She's 4 months. It's like the first, like she's entering the second trimester.
I know how. I know how it works. I'm just saying she's pregnant. Like, it's also a baby on the way. A husband who's super sick.
I just think because of the stress level. But the fact that they keep referring to themselves as guests, you're not a guest.
You're family.
Not your family, bro. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you should. We recently had a thing where everybody in the house got sick, including the baby, and the baby was 2 months old at the time. And we had people, including Missy, that's on from this podcast. And literally, when we posted that, she was like, you know, we already took her to the hospital. She already went to the emergency room. She was clear. Like, we made that clear from the beginning of the post. Like, she's fine now. This is just what happened. Whatever, blah, blah. And people like Missy and people like a Facebook friend of my wife, who's just a Facebook friend, contacted us and were like, what's your address so I can send you dinner, so I could buy dinner for you, so I could order dinner for you, so you don't have to worry about that. That's random strangers. Those are, you know what I mean? Missy's not a stranger. She's a dear friend, but that's not blood. You get what I'm saying?
And I like the post, which is just as good. It's just as good. I didn't even just do the like. I did the hug. I did the care.
That makes sense.
Even better.
Right. And you liked it on Instagram, which that's 2 places, really. I mean, at that point, you've gone above and beyond.
For that, you owe me dinner.
So the whole point is that if you have people, if you have like a Facebook friend of my wife that my wife has never physically met, just on one of her mom groups, saying, what's your address? I'd like to send you your family dinner. So you don't have to worry about dinner. And then you have that to go from that kind of people in the world to have people that are like, oh, I'm your guest. You're not a guest, bro. You're fucking family. You should be helping out. And if you're not going to help out, which is fine because it's not your obligation to help out, you could at the very least not make more work for me.
Right. Correct.
Like if your way of helping out is staying the fuck out of my way, then so let it be. But don't make it that I have to wait on you and be a hostess. Bitch, this ain't no black tie affair. I'm not a hostess. This ain't no restaurant. I'm not bringing you fucking a menu and be like, what would you like? The beverages are on the back of the menu if you want. Fuck you. Like that's absurdly ridiculous. That's the biggest part that I have a problem with.
It begs the question, why are you here?
Yes.
Like, why are you here right now?
Correct.
What is the point of this visit? And there's three of you. That you are just present. What the fuck is the point?
They're waste of space.
Yeah, man.
Well, I do like the fact that the dad was like, let's just order food.
Let's just order food.
But that's because men are practical.
Shut the fuck. I mean, this guy is at least. I think it's more like but I think it tells you a little bit about the dynamic where it's just like, shut the fuck up. Let's just order food. I'm hungry.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a go deeper into that scenario, to that one little thing. He wholeheartedly agrees with the original post lady, but he doesn't want to say to his wife, she's right and you're a cunt.
Yeah.
So he's saying,
I love that word.
Let's just order food. Let's just order dinner. Hey, get the fuck off your phone. Order food. Like that's his way of saying like you're wrong.
That's exactly how I pictured it too. Yeah, like he's just like, yeah, shut up. Like everybody calm down, order food, get the fuck, just basically trying to calm everybody down because he can't go to his wife. You stop being an asshole, like clearly he's chosen a side.
Look at this. First of all, Yolanda says back to the ass.
Yeah.
that's the name of the episode.
And then Vanessa says tread lightly, Mary sign. You use both names.
I'm expecting you to like the door to open behind you and you're just like
He said tread lightly. Yolanda says seriously, your father's recovering from back surgery, and if I had to deal with that, I would go ballistic. Vanessa says if you're in my house every day, you are no longer a guest.
Facts on facts.
He says, I tried to tell my parents I was a guest in their house to get out of doing the dishes. It did not go well for me. And it's performative support. That's a good fucking phrase.
Wow, that is a
performative support. It's just a show to say that they were there helping.
I have a whole bit of that's my throat bit that I had for years is performative. It's that's the whole thing about how Latinos come to the ER. Like,
I feel like that would be a good name for a comedy album. Performative support.
That does sound good.
It does, right? I already had that name of my next two albums, but fuck, this would be a good one. Performative support.
Can I have it?
Peter says no visitors allowed unless you are here to help. Otherwise, let's FaceTime. How about that? Otherwise, stay where you are. Vanessa says Chiquita Lopez, best part about having a baby during a pandemic is that no one can come over to help.
Yeah, like that's the thing is that when someone has a baby, it's like, oh, I'm gonna come over and help you. Hold the baby and take cute pictures and then hand it back to you when it shits and then say bye.
No, and then ask you like, what is it to eat?
Yeah.
That part.
Did you make dinner?
Did you make dinner? Where's our dinner?
We've clearly established who the asshole is in that scenario.
Clearly. Wow. Kasinga.
And now, yeah, what an asshole. Would I be the asshole if I sold my house and left? So this is the poster. I, a 29-year-old male, purchased a home in 2019. I had a girlfriend, 24 female at the time, and she moved in with me. My father, 54 male, who I met when I was 20, was having shoulder surgery around the same time, so I let him stay with me too. We never agreed on a time limit.
Oh, no.
Bum, bum, bum. You can hear it developing. He helped me redo the bathroom, fix a few things here and there. I never asked for any rent, help with my utilities, my property tax, etc. from either of them. I only asked that the house be picked up. Tensions have been high at times, small arguments, things not getting done, pure laziness, etc. Little things here and there. leaving coffee spots on the counter, walking over trash. One was the first winter I didn't have an oil tank for my heat, so I had to grab a 20-gallon of diesel, blah, blah, blah. It's for the home heating system. One morning it went out. It was a little cold, but I can still hear crack addicts live better than this. Fast forward a few months, still the same issues. I finally start a career in 2021. I love it. I work and for my best friend, and it's 3 hours away. I stay anywhere from 3 to 8 days at his place. 3 to 8 days in a row at his place. They get the house to themselves, all paid up on bills, etc. I come back to an unkempt house, no food in the fridge or pantry, and I leave money every time I leave for work. Girlfriend and I break up one weekend over a little over a month ago while I'm at work. Tension's high from everything, of course. Well, over the next 3 to 4 weeks, she stays in my living room. I told her if she needed to be out, but whatever. Becomes best friends with my father. House becomes awkward, and I barely speak to them, and they barely speak to me. Uses of one of my vehicles to get to and from work. My insurance, no problem, I guess. Oh, he uses one of my vehicles to get to and from work. My insurance, no problem, I guess. Well, I come home at 5 a.m., sleep, wake up, clean the house a bit. Emptying the wastebasket, I find a condom wrapper and, yes, a condom in the trash bin. Now I have cameras outside. Nobody else was in my home. I shouldn't even have to ask this, but would I be the asshole for just putting my house on the market and telling them they need to find a new set of living arrangements and start my life over again elsewhere? Have I been too nice or understanding? Any questions? This was done in haste. The post, anyway.
First and foremost, this reminds me of the memes that I see of girls saying, "I am old enough to date you or your father."
Yeah,
So
like
don't
everyone's
tell
talking
me.
about, oh, I'll fuck your dad, and it's like, well, like
That just
did
made
it.
me think of that.
she
She did
totally
it.
put her money where her vagina is.
That
So
is correct. First,
Yolanda says before we get
sell
to
the
our
house surprise.
sell the house surprise.
Her dad,
Vanessa,
his dad better be un papi pinga bien sabroso for
Well,
her to be doing that.
he only met him 20 years when he was 20. So like clearly the father has not been in the guy's life
right?
Right.
for a reason.
How old is the poster?
29.
So he's only known him for 9 years. That's enough time to get fucking boundaries, right? That's enough time
Yeah.
for a kid to be like,
Yeah.
like if I just met the guy a year ago and the guy fucks my girl, it's like, well, he doesn't really know me. So I guess there's that. But so Vanessa says, quote, best friends with the father, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yolanda says, ew. Oh, that's what grosses you out, Yolanda? That's where the line is? That's where the fucking line is. All right. I think just good to know. I'm not judging you. That's just good to know that's where the line is. Rookie says this is Olympic level conflict avoidance.
Yes.
Use your words.
Right.
And Vanessa says, sell it.
Not the
Sell
asshole.
it with 14 exclamation marks. Not the asshole.
Let's create the reality of what it would happen.
Double dipping.
What would happen if, like, could you just literally be like, I'm going to sell the house without telling the people who live there, and then just having the sheriffs come in and be like, hey, kick these people out of my fucking house.
I would love that. That's the bit. Yeah.
I would say to do that without actually selling the house.
Yes. Good point.
I would just say, tell them, hey, I'm selling the house. And then like a week later, be like, sold the house. It's a short sale. I don't even know what technically that means, but I'm assuming it means that it's a short sale. And then call the cops and then like kick these people out of my fucking house.
Right.
I'm going to read one of the comments from the post where it says, not the asshole. If you walk through a stream and find a couple of leeches have latched onto you in the process, are you the asshole because you remove them? Of course not.
No.
So why would you think you're the asshole for cutting off these 2 leeches? Get a lawyer though, because you're going to have to formally evict them, and there's real danger that they can claim squatters' rights or some other nonsense.
Right.
Evict them.
Yeah.
Dude, all caps. Dude, not the asshole. You are a doormat. Get the fuck out. Sell. He is a doormat. This guy is clearly
Olympic level avoidance, bro.
Olympic level avoidance.
Rookie said it right. Olympic level avoidance.
Yeah.
Well, someone just said call the cops.
Yeah, but they can claim squatters' rights and there's a bunch of ways around it.
I'm trying. Oh wait. Okay, so this is a follow-up. So a little more now that I've been able to get home and read a bit. I have found a place I want up near work. I want to put my house up for sale and do a contingency on the new place. I've yet to speak to them, but my thought isn't to freak out, simply that my life has changed direction. Oh, I don't want to call this guy pussy, but my life
Painful.
changed. My life has changed direction, and I'm going to downsize and move closer to work. So I'll be putting the house up for sale, and there will be ample time to relocate. But I think it's best we part ways. This guy's too nice. I'd probably offer to help with the first and security on a decent apartment for one or both of them. This guy. I'm not saying
un
they did,
penco.
but in 2 years, I've never found that in a trash. No, man, this poor guy. Oh, now I'm sad.
Why are you sad? This guy's gonna be the best man at his fucking dad's
His
wedding.
wedding.
What are you talking about? This guy is a fucking doormat. This guy grow
He
some
is.
reach down in
Wow.
your fucking pants and fucking feel around for what is supposed to be the remnants of balls and man the fuck up, dude. Like it's not even one thing. Look, I'm not saying get violent or do anything stupid like that. I'm saying like get upset. Get upset, like man the fuck up, get upset and be like assertive and be like,
Right.
get the fuck out of my house.
He goes on, this comes after I've caught wind of her mentioning how she could take things from my house but doesn't, being petty and crashing my car. She knows I love my car. How I told my father that I told her to leave and to make sure she doesn't take anything she wasn't supposed to. I have cash, collectibles, high-end shit all over that she knows of, which he told her everything I said. This guy's clearly in crisis because he's like just spewing
Dude,
out.
el tipo no sabe dónde está metido, está perdido como la libertad en Cuba, like legit.
This is
No, it's true.
It's a funny
It's true.
statement.
That is a
It's
good
true.
sentence.
I get.
It's-
Vanessa
Sorry.
says. Vanessa
I'm
says,
done. I'm done.
I don't know that you can legally do that. I think you would have to give notice or evict.
Right.
She's Yolanda's asking about squatters' rights. Some states have them, some states don't. Depends, and then it's how long you've been there. And Vanessa says it's been an ojo que ve, corazón que no
Que no
siente
siente
situation.
So for our for our non-Spanish speakers, that means what
What the eyes don't see.
See,
or-
your heart
The heart doesn't feel what the eyes don't
what-
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that you feel like translating those 4 words, but not the 6 paragraphs you said in Spanish,
Sorry.
cursing the guy out. Like that part you don't want to translate, but the fucking one sentence that my wife said,
Sorry.
let's translate this one. This one might be confusing. For
Sorry.
people.
Allow me to translate croissant.
Vanessa says, I take it back, and she says, no, kick her ass out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kick her ass out.
There's an element of like clearly this. God, I genuinely like. It makes me sad that people like that get abused and get like taken advantage of, like these doormats. But also like at a certain point, you're doing it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like once you like that's the shit that he's gonna look back on and be like not only was I dumb, but like crippling cringe at your pat. Like I've done minorly embarrassing things that will wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what an idiot. This I'd have to go to like admit me, to a hospital, commit me for like a minute because I'm gonna lose my mind.
I've done that. I had that relationship that I had for 5 years. It was I was a doormat and I was very like I was passive. Like I remember saying things to my now wife like I would always get done for quote being too nice and blah 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 and all that stuff there, and I would be like overly romantic and all that jazz. And my wife was like, "Well, how come I didn't get that guy?" And I told my wife, I said, "You trust me, you don't want that guy. Like the guy that I am now is because I had lived through that shit where I'm like, oh, you can't just let people walk all okay. Like I had to learn that the fucking hard way. But this guy's 29. This guy's 29. Typically, we go through that when we're 19, 20, type of shit like that. You go through a tough breakup, but this is other level.
This other guy's 58.
Olympic level, bro.
Olympic level. Wow. Well, there we have it.
Olympic medalist level. Not even just
Wow.
Olympic level. Like this guy medals.
This guy's getting on the medal. Yeah, he's getting on the podium.
He's getting on the podium. He's like, oh shit, this is good. So no, I don't think right. He's not the asshole, right?
No, he needs to do
He's
that.
an asshole, but he's not the asshole.
He's getting it up the asshole.
Yeah,
he's
bringing it
with
around.
a spiked dildo with no lube.
Easy.
Back to the ass.
Yeah, I mean, bringing
And
it
no
all around.
flange.
No flinch. No flinch. Legit.
Seriously, guys, use proper anal toys. Use shit.
Use things that are made for it. Use things that are made for
I
it.
did a bit. So that
If you get your sex toys at the supermarket, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
or if you just improvise with shit around the house.
Like a banana.
Like yes,
Like
especially a banana.
That
Don't
you get
ask
out of
me
supermarket.
about it.
I'm fucking right. If you get, you should not be getting your sex toys from a
Or a
supermarket. period.
pepino or a cucumber.
All these things are supermarket. We're talking about
Eggplants.
yeah.
Phallical symbols.
Today's
Anything
episode brought to you
cylindrical.
by Publix, where shopping
Yeah.
is a pleasure. Make sure
Well,
to check
that's-
out your local Publix.
Or look, oh
for
no,
great
your,
deals on sex toys.
There you go.
look, your water bottles.
Yeah. All right, we don't need to yeah. Show us more, Matika. Show us a demonstration.
Yolanda says, "I like this show."
Look, can I do it? There was a bit that I had. Well,
Well, this is really wide, actually.
yeah, it's all bad.
Chiquita,
I did a bit one time. I had a bit about. Oh,
Oh
what
my
was the
God.
Chiquita?
Chiquita said, "It probably all started with whipped cream."
Yeah, poor family members. Yeah. The dad loves whipped cream. What are you saying?
Everywhere you look, everywhere.
This is the shittiest sitcom. I had done a bit about that sort of thing where like when you work as a paramedic, people all like inevitably the conversation will be like, what's the weirdest thing you've seen up somebody's ass? And the answer is always all of it. Nothing. All of it. Nothing's supposed to just go up there and like stay there. Like that's not where you keep. It's like, oh yeah, I should really keep my keys up there. Like, and then after a show, so this guy came up to me, he's like, that's really homophobic. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, please be careful. You know what I mean? Like, don't. It's not about. It's about like objects that. Man, I really don't want to like be specific.
Please be specific.
Like anything that's not a human body part, you should probably not put up there. You just don't.
Anything that it doesn't have a base to it, anything that you can lose into the black hole of your anus is not is a risk. It's all a risk. That's why it's so fun. Like it's will it get stuck up there? Who knows? That's the game.
Oh my
God. Rookie says anything is a sex toy if you're brave enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
As I'm looking up anal plugs. Look. Oh my God.
They all have a flange. They all have a base.
Yes. Look.
You know why? Because it's all about that base.
It's all about look, I don't care if you have a decorative flange. It could be as long as it keeps it from getting bang.
This is vibrating. This will vibrate.
Martika has to shake the bottle of quote water like if you have to do it when you go on a cruise. All right. That's our episode. We're gonna title this NC-17. Bring it. Thank you guys for checking us out. Martika, you could be found everywhere on social media. Her handle is at Martha Maria Lopez TV because there was nothing longer.
Of course not.
We needed that one. Mike is at Mike Mercadal. Martika could be found. She works a radio station, Maxima, up in Tampa, and it's Maxima 94. I'm sorry.
No.
Can you do the tags that you do, the station IDs, but for What's Up, Bro?
You want me to?
Yes.
You need to give me the tags, like
just
WYU UFM, WYU KT1, Safety Harbor,
WUBRO.
Yeah,
WUBRO.
Yeah.
All right. So we're if you go to her Instagram, she has a link to her radio show, which I check out all the time.
I've learned about many Latin artists that I did not know about because of Matika.
Oh, thanks. That's
all
great.
of them.
I don't listen to them, but I've learned about. No, just kidding.
Yeah. And she's on TikTok. Make sure you go check out her TikTok.
I finally got to 10K on TikTok. Yay!
Oh, let me add. I'm gonna add you to up later. This is for after the show.
So make sure you check that out. Check out my comedy at naryscience.com or whatwashisname.com. Check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bro Network, including but not limited to Pero Let Me Tell You, the Mount Geekmore podcast, A Dose of Ellie, Chow Like a Best with Mike Valdez, Shivers coming back, baby. Shiver's coming back. Shiver, a horror movie podcast, is coming back. So very excited about that. We are recording the first episode back later on this week. And tomorrow, at the time of this recording, tomorrow we are wrapping up the last episode of seasons of let me rephrase that. We're wrapping up we're recording the last episode of season 1 of the podcast Seasons, a TV podcast. It's a podcast that hasn't been released yet, but it's been in the making for the last 4 years, not exaggerating. And we will be releasing, the whole point of it is to release all the episodes at one time, and we will be reliving your favorite TV shows one season at a time per episode.
I can't wait to hear the pre-COVID references.
Oh my God, there's so many. And the funny thing is, every time we record, we're like, we've been recording for 3 years, we've been recording for 2 years, and the listener doesn't need to know that. Had nobody said that, or had that been edited out, you would never know, because they're going to be all dropped at the same time. But trust me, they're all there. It's a fun ride. And we're recording the last episode of season 1 of Seasons tomorrow. So make sure if you're listening to the audio version of this, as most of you still are, you could check out the video version on our Facebook, on our YouTube, and on our Twitch, all of which have the same backslash as WUBROPOD. WuBro Pod across all platforms, which is Facebook.com/WuBroPod, YouTube.com/WuBroPod. Same thing for Twitch, and the same thing for our Cash App. If you want to donate to our podcast that costs us more money than we make, because we make very little, is $WuBroPod. So make sure you guys check that out, and check out our Patreon. We have 2 Patreons right now. I've done a bad job promoting the Patreon because I want to build it up more before I start promoting it on social medias. But we have Rookie and we have Yolanda as our 2 Patreons. So thank you very much for both of you for doing that. We love
the
both
real fans.
The real fans.
Give us money.
Patreon.com/WuBroPod -croissant. I'm kidding. But thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check the rest of the Geek Bro Network out at geekbro.net. That's how winning is done. Use lube.